Where do you feel we're at in terms of artists in general having opportunities to do things like that, to really, go for it? Is there something you'd like to see change? Because, there are a litany of problems with the current ecosystem.
I think for me, what I find a bit sad is that there's a few things. I've had a few solos I've had and then cancelled, but I wanted to do the show for a really long time, and Whip was great because they went, yes, let's do it. And that little bit of optimism has allowed me to do something I've wanted to do for 5 years. And that's really not that long to wait in the scheme of the way things work in the art world. And so having this opportunity has been so freeing, and it's also been the best response I've had to a show. So maybe, not to be funny, but maybe people need to be braver about what they are funding. Because come on, transparently, I get a £500 exhibition fee for that, which objectively is not a lot of money. I have never been given money for work I've made. I've done, I think, 27 shows.
Wow.
I needed a visa. There was a few reasons. There are a lot of things I don't talk about. But I've never been given money for a show I've done.
That's extraordinary. That's absolutely extraordinary.
But that's common. That's how it is. There's an expectation. You're sourcing these things. And I think if people are really invested in the trajectory of artists, they're not just looking at the object, they're looking at where the work is in 5 years. When my partner wrote the press release, she's heard me talk about this for 5 years. When she speaks to other artists, there's this real focus on her understanding what it is they are doing as opposed to what they've done. And I think that's often lost in programming. But I have friends with blue chip galleries that it seems they don't get a lot of freedom either. But I know what I'm looking for if it comes to, I hope, me signing with a gallery, and that's them being confident that they see that I'm beginning to do something. Because the work I make now, I hope and expect to be nowhere near as good as the work in 5 years.
Oh, absolutely.
And if people encourage that, they're going to get a cracking show out of it. And if people gave a bit more grace to artists or felt a bit more open to the unexpected, I think we would not be seeing so many gold foil boring freeze boots.
Tell me about it. It's interesting, especially, coming away, we've just had Freeze, just had Basil, and it was, I think, a little bit uninspiring this year. And a lot of people are saying, well, it comes in waves of 4 or 5 years. It's people getting rid of dead stock, of inventory they've had hanging around. And then next year or the year afterwards, people are going to start doing brave things again. I don't know how true that is. I've never, I can't remember.
I used to work in retail, and that's what that sounds like.
Are you kidding?
You do a sale, get the back stock out, get in, out, get it on the floor. That's what that sounds like.
I think it is. And I think there's a lot of parallels to be drawn. Obviously, there's parallels to be drawn between retail and the actual art market. Do you think there's a way to break away from that? Or do you think there's a way to harness it, to make it work in an artist's favor or in art's favor?
I think the woman I can't speak on all of that because my experience is I am such a small component of a massive ecosystem. And there's parts of it I legitimately really like. But the woman who's working on the show with me, Charlie, who works for Heidi in Berlin, or maybe it's just Heidi. I think it's Heidi. Anyway, she is great because I've known her for 2.5 years and we did an audition together. And from the moment she met me, my work was in a different place. She had complete faith in me and has visited me at least once a month for the past 2 years to just chat about what we're doing, to just see where the work's at, to check in with me. And I think that's where it comes from, that authentic relationship. And I can return that. Now I asked her to be a part of this show and we've been working on it together. We think the Science Museum's coming next week.
Gorgeous. Oh my God, congratulations.
Oh my God, how cool is that?
Yeah.
But I'm also working with someone that authentically wants the best for me in the work. And I feel the same about her. So there's I feel like that maybe this is just a very ideal way of looking at it. But it's even us having this conversation now. We had a really lovely goss in the studio.
Oh, absolutely.
And now I feel you meet someone halfway, and I really think that's what needs to change. And of all the people I've worked with, there's 5 or 6 that I think of with complete trust, and I'd do any project they approach me about because I believe they have my best interest in mind and mine theirs.